I was told I wasn't good enough over and over again. Jobs rejected me. Schools rejected me. People laughed at my dreams. 30 times I faced rejection. 30 times I was told, you're not one. But what the world saw as failure, I saw as training. Every no was pushing me closer to my yes. I didn't have money. I didn't have talent. But I had one thing they couldn't see, a belief that I was meant for more. If you've ever felt left out, ignored, or doubted, this is your wake-up call. Because I learned something powerful on the road from failure to freedom. Success is not about what you're given. It's about what you do when you have nothing. Let me share with you the lessons that rejection taught me, the fire that failure gave me, and the mindset that turned every obstacle into an opportunity. When I was young, I faced rejection after rejection. It wasn't once or twice. It was 30 times. I applied for jobs and didn't get even one. Even when KFC came to my city and hired 24 people out of 25 applicants, I was the only one who was rejected. Imagine the feeling. You stand there, watching everyone else walk away with opportunity in their hands, and you're the only one left behind. But rejection is not the end of the road. Rejection is the beginning of the real journey. Most people take rejection personally. They think, I'm not good enough, they stop trying, but that's not what rejection means. Rejection is not someone telling you that you can't succeed. It's life asking you, how bad do you really want it? Every time someone told me no, I told myself, good, now I'm one step closer to the person who will say yes. That's how I built my mindset. I didn't allow those rejections to break me. I allowed them to build me. Every rejection became a brick, and I used those bricks to build my character, my strength, and my determination. You don't get stronger when life is easy. You get stronger when life punches you in the face and you refuse to stay down. That's what rejection teaches you. It teaches you to rise. It teaches you to stop relying on luck and start relying on your own belief. When nobody gives you a chance, you have to create your own. When nobody believes in you, you must believe in yourself. And when you have nothing to lose, which means you are free to try, free to take risks, free to chase something bigger than yourself. I was never the smartest in my class. I failed many times in school, but I was willing to keep going when others quit. That's the difference. Life is not about how many times you fail. It's about how many times you get back up. Rejection will come, it will hurt, it may embarrass you, but it will also prepare you. It will teach you to be humble. It will teach you to listen, to learn, and to keep improving. People often want success to come easily. They don't want to feel pain, but pain is the greatest teacher. Rejection is one of its tools. It doesn't feel good, but it does good if you let it. Without those 30 rejections, I would not be who I am today. I would not have built the courage to start something on my own. I would not have understood the pain that ordinary people go through. I would not have learned how to stand tall when nobody claps for you. Rejection is life's way of preparing you for the weight of success. Because when you finally succeed, the world will not ask how many times you failed. It will only see what you built, but you will know the truth. You will know that the rejections, the failures, the closed doors, that's where you became powerful. That's where you developed your hunger. That's where your spirit was tested and sharpened. So if you're facing rejection now, don't run from it. Thank it, learn from it, use it. That rejection is not a wall. It's a mirror. It's asking you, will you give up or will you grow? And if you choose to grow, you're already on your way to something bigger than approval. You're on your way to something real, something lasting, something that no one can take away because you earned it. I wasn't born smart. I wasn't the top student in school. In fact, I failed a lot. I failed in middle school. I failed the college entrance exam not once, not twice, but 3 times. Even when I got into university, it wasn't a famous one. I wasn't the kind of person people looked at and thought, he's going to be successful. Most people thought I was just average, maybe even below average, and that's exactly why I always say, you don't need to be a genius to win. The world likes to tell you that only smart people succeed, that you need to be from a top university. that you need to have connections, money, or a brilliant mind. But I'm here to tell you something different. You don't need to be the best, you just need to be determined. You don't need to have all the answers, you just need to be willing to learn. And you don't need to be born with talent. You can build skills through effort. When I first heard about the internet, I didn't even know how to use a computer. I didn't understand how websites worked. I had never written a line of code, but I was curious. I saw something new and I asked myself, what if? I didn't let my lack of knowledge stop me. I believed that as long as I kept learning, kept improving, I could still create something meaningful. And that's exactly what happened. You see, it's not about how much you know. It's about how much you're willing to figure out. It's about seeing the world not just for what it is, but for what it can become. Geniuses often want everything to be perfect before they start. They overthink, but dreamers, ordinary people with fire in their hearts, they just begin, they take small steps. They keep moving forward, and over time they build something extraordinary. I met many people who were smarter than me. Many of them had better degrees, better English, better skills, but many of them gave up too early. When they failed once, they stopped. When the road got tough, they turned around. They didn't lack intelligence. They lacked patience and endurance. I couldn't compete with their brains, but I could compete with their heart. I could outlast them. I could keep going when they quit. You don't win in life because you're the most brilliant. You win because you don't stop. You win because you stay hungry. You win because you believe in something when no one else does. That's why being a genius is not a requirement. Being persistent is, being focused is, being humble enough to admit what you don't know and brave enough to go learn it is more powerful than any IQ score. I've always believed that ordinary people can do extraordinary things if they're given a chance, and if they give themselves a chance. The problem is, many people don't even believe in themselves. They look in the mirror and think, I'm not enough. But who told you that? Just because you didn't get good grades doesn't mean you can't build a great company. Just because you don't speak perfect English doesn't mean you can't speak to the world. Just because you're not a genius doesn't mean you can't change your life. I am living proof of that. My journey is not the story of a man who had everything. It's the story of a man who had very little, but made the decision to keep going. If you have the courage to try, and the patience to fail, and the strength to rise again, then you don't need to be a genius. You just need to believe that something greater is possible, and that belief will take you further than talent ever could. When you start chasing a dream, don't expect applause. Don't expect people to line up and support you. In fact, the opposite will likely happen. People will laugh, they'll doubt you, they'll tell you it's impossible. They'll ask, who do you think you are? That's what I experienced. When I first told my friends about my idea, they looked at me like I was crazy. They didn't believe in the dream I saw, and honestly, I don't blame them because when you're just starting, there's nothing for others to believe in yet. You have no results, no proof, just an idea and your determination, but that's exactly the test. The world won't believe you until you succeed. And the truth is, that's okay. You don't need the world's approval to begin. You need your own conviction. If I had waited for everyone to believe in me, I would have never started anything. Belief has to start from within. It's lonely, it's hard, but it's necessary, because the early part of any journey is filled with doubt, especially from the people closest to you. Not because they hate you, but because they don't see what you see. When I launched my idea, I had no money, no connections, no experience in technology. I gathered 17 of my friends and tried to explain this vision I had about the internet, about building a company, about helping small businesses grow. I could see it clearly in my mind, but to them it sounded like a fantasy. Out of all of them, only a few joined. The rest walked away. They didn't see a future in what I was doing, and again I understood. It's hard to believe in something that doesn't exist yet. But I didn't argue. I didn't try to convince them. I didn't waste time trying to prove myself to anyone. I just started building. Because the best way to convince the world is not through words, it's through results. If they don't believe in your dream, show them your progress. If they laugh at your idea, let your success be your answer. I learned early that talking doesn't change people's minds, doing does. And let me tell you something important. People don't believe in you at the beginning, but once you make it, they will ask how you did it. They'll say they always knew you would succeed. That's how it works. Don't get upset about it. It's human nature. People believe what they can see. So while they're waiting to see results, you need to keep moving in silence. Don't chase validation. Chase progress. Let your growth speak for you. I didn't need everyone to believe in me. I needed just a few people who shared the same vision, and more importantly, I needed to believe in myself so strongly that no one else's opinion could shake me. You need to protect your dream like it's a small fire in the wind. In the beginning, it's fragile. The wind of criticism, fear, and doubt can blow it out. But if you shield it, if you nurture it, it will grow stronger. One day, that small fire will become a flame so powerful that the world can't ignore it. People ask me, how do you handle it when no one believes in your idea? I tell them, that's when you have to believe the most. Because that's where leadership starts. Leadership is not about having followers. It's about having vision when no one else does. The world won't believe you until you succeed, and when you do, they'll pretend they always did. So stop waiting for belief from the outside. Build something that makes them believe. Your journey doesn't need their validation. It only needs your action. Most people want success fast. They want to make money quickly, get famous quickly, grow quickly. But that's not how real success works. The people who truly win in life are the ones who think long term. They don't chase shortcuts. They build step by step with patience and purpose. When I started building my company, I didn't think about how to make money tomorrow or next week. I was thinking about how this company would grow for the next 80 or even 100 years. That mindset changed everything. If your goal is just to survive, your actions will be small. But if your goal is to last, to create something meaningful, something that lives beyond you, then you'll work differently. You'll build foundations, not just facades. You'll make decisions not based on short-term profits, but on long-term value. Most people quit because they're only thinking about what they can get today. They don't see the bigger picture. They get tired, frustrated, and give up too early. I remember in the early days, our company had no money, no business model that was working, and no support. But we didn't panic. We stayed calm because our vision was never about becoming rich quickly. Our vision was about creating something that would help millions of small businesses. We kept reminding ourselves this is not a one-year project, this is a lifelong mission. That mindset gave us the strength to go through hard times. When you think long term, you develop patience. Patience is not weakness, it's strategy. It's understanding that building something great takes time. Look at trees. The tallest, strongest trees grow the slowest. Why? Because they spend years growing roots deep into the ground before they grow upward. Your dreams work the same way. If you grow too fast without strong roots, the first storm will knock you down. The long-term thinker knows that success is not about speed, it's about direction. You can be fast but heading the wrong way, or you can be slow, steady, and moving towards something that actually matters. That's how we built our company. We weren't the fastest in the beginning. Many other businesses were making more money than us, but we stayed focused. We took care of our customers, we kept our promises, we kept building even when no one noticed, and over time, something amazing happened. The businesses that were only focused on fast money started falling. They burned out. They collapsed because they were chasing trends, not building foundations. But we kept growing quietly and steadily. That's the power of long-term thinking. I often say if you want to succeed in 3 years, prepare for disappointment. But if you're willing to give it 10 years, 20 years, or even your whole life, then you have a real chance. The world respects builders who last. Your reputation, your legacy, your impact. It all comes from how deeply and wisely you commit to your mission. And this doesn't just apply to business. In relationships, health, learning everything great in life is built over time. But in today's world, people are addicted to instant results. They plant the seed and get angry when the tree doesn't grow overnight. That's not how nature works. That's not how success works. You need to show up every day, water the dream, protect it from the storm, and keep believing even when there are no visible results. So ask yourself, are you in this for the short race or the marathon? Because if you're thinking long term, then every failure becomes a lesson, not a disaster. Every delay becomes a part of your preparation, and eventually when the results come, they won't just be big, they'll be unshakable. Think long term, that's how real success is born. I was not born into wealth. My parents didn't have money. We didn't have special connections or access to powerful people. I grew up in a time and place where opportunity was hard to find. Some people think that being poor is a disadvantage, but I see it differently. Being poor gave me the motivation to fight. It gave me the hunger to grow. It gave me the reason to never stop trying. A poor background is not a curse, it's a gift, if you understand how to use it. When you come from nothing, you learn how to survive. You learn how to adapt. You learn how to be creative, how to work with limited resources, and how to make the best out of whatever life gives you. Rich people may have better tools, better education, better support. But poor people have something more powerful, desperation. And when used right, desperation becomes fuel, it becomes fire, it becomes unstoppable energy that pushes you to do what others won't. There were many times I looked at my life and thought, why is it so hard? But then I realized difficulty is training. When life is easy, you don't grow. When everything is given to you, you don't learn how to build. But when you have nothing, every step you take teaches you something. Every failure forces you to improve. Every rejection pushes you to get better. Being poor trained me to be strong, disciplined, and relentless. Many people wait for the perfect condition to start. They think they need money first, or support first, or someone to help them. But if you come from a poor background, you already know the truth. There's no perfect time. There's only now. You can't wait. You have to act with what you have. That mindset helped me a lot. I didn't wait for the ideal moment. I just started. I took the first step, even when I had nothing but belief, and belief is powerful. Because when no one else believes in you, it's your belief that carries you forward. Rich or poor, the one thing that decides your future is how deeply you believe in your own ability to rise. My journey wasn't about how smart I was or how rich I became. It was about how I used my disadvantages as fuel to keep going. I didn't complain about not having resources. I found ways to build them. I didn't get jealous of those ahead of me. I studied them, I learned from them. That's the mindset people from poor backgrounds must adopt. Don't see yourself as a victim. See yourself as a challenger. When you walk into the ring with less experience and fewer tools, you have to train harder, think smarter, and hit with more heart. That's how you win. Life doesn't owe you anything, but it will reward you if you stay focused, stay hungry, and stay moving. Some of the greatest leaders, inventors, and entrepreneurs came from nothing. They didn't succeed in spite of being poor. They succeeded because being poor taught them what schools couldn't. It taught them discipline, it taught them urgency, it taught them how to turn pain into progress. So if you come from a poor background, don't let it become your excuse. Let it become your reason. You've already experienced the hard part, struggle. Now use that experience to grow. Use it to build something strong, something meaningful. The world may not expect much from you, but that's an advantage. Because when no one expects you to succeed, you're free to surprise them all. Don't be ashamed of where you come from. Be proud, because if you can rise from the bottom, you'll never forget what it took to climb. And once you reach the top, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more grateful than anyone who had it easy. There is something hidden inside pain that most people never notice. Most people try to avoid pain, run from it, deny it, or blame someone else for it. But I learned something powerful in my journey. Your greatest wake-up call doesn't come when life is easy. It comes when you're hurting. It comes when everything is falling apart. It comes when you are rejected, ignored, misunderstood, and pushed to the edge. That's when your real voice speaks. That's when your real strength shows up. Pain is not just pain, it's your alarm clock. It's life shaking you, shouting, "Wake up. Your time is coming, but you must prepare." I remember the moments when nothing seemed to work. I applied for dozens of jobs and got turned down over and over. I felt embarrassed. I felt invisible. When I tried to build something, people laughed. They said I didn't have the right skills, the right face, the right background. That kind of rejection stings, but each time I was told no, something inside me woke up. Something refused to stay silent. Pain forced me to ask, who am I really? What am I willing to fight for? What can I create if no one opens the door for me? That was the beginning. Pain showed me that no one is coming to rescue you. And maybe that's a good thing, because when no one else shows up, you finally show up for yourself. You stop waiting, you stop making excuses, you stop comparing, you start doing. When you're in pain, you can either break or you can rise. The pain becomes fuel. It sharpens your mind, toughens your skin, and teaches you things comfort never could. People ask, what was your turning point? And I always tell them, my turning point was rejection, failure, humiliation. Not success. Success came later, but it was the pain that woke me up. It was the pain that said, enough is enough. And that voice was louder than anyone's doubt. That voice told me I was meant for something more, even if I couldn't see it clearly yet. That voice said, you're not done, and I believed it. In every setback, I began to look for the lesson. I began to ask, why is this happening for me? And not, why is this happening to me? That shift changed everything. Pain became my teacher. It taught me to listen when I was stubborn. It taught me to adapt when I wanted to give up. It taught me to grow when I didn't feel ready. Without pain, I would still be asleep, dreaming about a better life instead of building one. You see, pain is not your enemy. It's your signal. It's telling you to move, to learn, to evolve. It's a message that says, the way you've been living is not enough anymore. That's not failure. That's transformation. That's the beginning of a better version of you. And if you pay attention, if you stop numbing it and start learning from it, pain will guide you to places you never thought you could reach. So the next time you feel rejected, discouraged, lost, don't run from that feeling. Sit with it. Ask it what it's trying to teach you. Because inside that pain is a hidden message, a spark, a shift, and that may be the exact moment that your journey truly begins. People who rise are not the ones who never feel pain. They're the ones who listen to it. They let it shape them, not destroy them. Your wake-up call may not sound like inspiration. It may sound like failure. It may sound like heartbreak. But if you're brave enough to listen, you'll realize this is not the end. It's the call you've been waiting for. You've heard the story, not of a genius, not of someone born lucky, but of someone who was told no more than most people hear yes in a lifetime, rejected, failed, laughed at, but still stood up and moved forward, not because the path was easy, but because the dream was worth it. The truth is, no one will hand you the life you want. No one will believe in you until you give them a reason to. That reason starts with how you respond to rejection, how you use pain, how you rise from failure, how you think long. How you turn your background into power, and how you wake yourself up before the world even notices. So if you're struggling, if you're doubting, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Don't just listen, start moving, because one day the same people who didn't believe in you will say they always did. And when that day comes, you won't need their applause. Your results will speak louder than their doubts ever did.